Hello, it's Caroline Belinska from E-commerce Backstage Pass, and I have Martina with me today.
Hi everybody!
So we actually have Martina's big logo there as well for her business. So we're just standing in front of that, sitting in front of that now, and both of our heads are actually blocking it. So
blocking it, it's okay.
That's okay, no problems. I wanted to get Martina on today because we are talking about marketing plans. So Martina actually joined my my program. This particular group started on Monday this week. So on Monday we had our actual first live workshop. So the way the actual program runs is that I do a pre-call with everyone privately. So each person gets a pre-call with me for an hour where I talk to them, and then we do a 6-week workshop. So the first one is probably the most difficult. so I've just told Martina to be completely honest, because for me, I know that you're not going to be sitting there saying that every part was rosy and wonderful.
Oh no.
It's never going to be. Like, business is not like that. So I understand that there's going to be parts that are hard, but the whole idea is I wanted to get her honest opinion, and we haven't even spoken about this yet. So we're just sitting here with our little first glass of champagne, and we thought we'd get on here first and let her tell everyone exactly what she thought of it. So we did our first call, but with the first call, normally each one's a live workshop, but the first one we talk about the marketing plan, and in the marketing plan there is a lot of details that go into it, because it's sort of like the base for everything of your business, and yeah, so there's a lot that goes into it. But what we actually did was I did a pre-recorded video series for that, got everyone to go away prior to our first workshop. Three videos, yeah. They're 3 videos, and they're between 20 and 30 minutes each, and then it just breaks down each part of the actual sections of the marketing plan, and it allows everyone time to go away and do all the homework first, do all the actual research, and then on that first call, when we got on there, is that I looked at everyone sent me in their link for their Google Doc, and then I actually went through it on the actual live call where I broke down each part. So as I read down, I went, okay, Martina, this part about you, maybe you need to change this and do this, and there were other people on the call. So just making sure that everyone had covered off the marketing plan properly, because they can walk away with that marketing plan, but if we hadn't have gone through that workshop, then Martina wouldn't have got as much out of that actual marketing plan, because it was very, very personalized for her exact business. I even had one of the other guys, Alan, who I did our first call with him before. So like I said, we do a live call first. And with him, he actually said that first call, I gave him 16 things he had to change on his website. And he went away and changed them. He got 13 of them done between the time of our first call and the first workshop. So I'm sure he's going to get the other 3 done quickly as well. But he was explaining how much it helped him to know that, things that he had to change along the way, and it made a difference to everything. So he was really ready to get into the marketing plan. But let's talk to Martina about her situation. So just anyone who doesn't know, I have actually had Martina on and spoken about her at other times as well. Sometimes without her knowing that I'm going to do that. She actually lives here in Barcelona as well. So that's why we're sitting together, because where she met here, and I've been helping her out with her business for a little bit now, just bits and pieces.
Yes,
and that's why she's come on board to do the actual full program, is because she's gone from being a hairdresser with a very successful business in LA, and now she's actually going completely online, slowly. Yeah. She still does some hairdressing stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually it will be that she's online completely. So there's that adjustment. And one thing that Martina keeps saying to me is, I don't know how you sit in front of a computer for so many hours, because coming from the hairdressing world, it's very hands-on. And
I'm doing better, but
it takes time. But
it takes time.
It's going to get better for you. Yeah. So Martina sells hair extensions. So you wanted to tell me something about your plan. So you started doing this plan this week. We did the marketing plan live. But you were going to tell me something about the marketing plan that you were going to do.
Yes. So, I don't know if you guys know or not, but my business is finished. My online site is finished. So it's like a month or so, and then you always think, okay, now what am I going to do now? So I wrote up my own marketing plan in like one site, but it was not very great. And then I discovered Caroline's workshop for doing a really proper marketing plan, what you really need, because without that you cannot do a proper online shop. It's not possible. So I signed up for her marketing plan, and then it started last Monday. But beforehand, she sent it like these 3 videos. So I had to listen to these 3 videos, and I had to re-listen to them.
I do talk fast though, so
yeah, not only fast, because there was so much information in it, and she did this beautiful Google Doc Excel sheet with every detail, and everything was so detailed, from like your perfect audience and client you really want, but you really have to think about it until to a email funnel and a sales funnel and a Facebook funnel, but I didn't even know it's existing. You can do your own marketing plan, whatever, but things you don't even know they're existing. And where Caroline was like, okay, if you don't have this upsell marketing funnel plans, you're gonna lose out of like all these clients who actually want to come back to your sites, but you didn't know, because you don't have this marketing plan and sales funnels, but Caroline knows about it. So I would really suggest to get a professional help, because it's impossible unless you studied deep marketing to know things like this. It's not possible. And it pays out in the end, because you get so much knowledge of this course, that you're gonna have like sales without knowing this before what you have to do.
So one thing that we went over with yours was that I have a section in there, and everything's just dot points. So you're filling out a cell in an Excel sheet, and it's not sentences, it's literally just words. The shorter the better. It's all about keeping that marketing plan as an open document that's always getting changed, because what I say is that I did a marketing plan for a business. It was like, I don't know, 30, 40 pages, and I did this amazing marketing plan. It took me weeks to put together, professionally got it printed off and everything, and I never opened it again. Yeah, and that's, everyone does that. So what I wanted to do was make sure that this is a working document that people are always looking at, and it's all just dot point. I don't want people to go into details about, writing out nice sentences. It doesn't matter. So one part that you did, that we actually did go into detail on, was that Martina's selling to hair extensions to women, and one part of her business is to brides. One part of her market for her working out her audience was 25 to, I think she said 45 or something like that.
Exactly.
And it was just, just women buying hair extensions. And then what I explained was that having such a broad audience makes it difficult, because when it comes time to advertise to them, the words that you'll use for a 25-year-old girl are going to be very different from the words that you're going to use for a 45-year-old woman when you're trying to promote your hair extensions. So it's not about having 2 websites, but it might be, for instance, if Martina wants to run Facebook ads, she can run a Facebook ad to a group of women from 35 to 45, and her ad might be more around, professional, it's easy to style, whereas the young ones, it's all about look hot, going to a disco, you want to look sexy, and it's going to be a completely different message. You're selling the same product, but it's a different message. And that was one thing that I told you to go away and break that down. And if she hadn't had that help from me, then she wouldn't have known that.
No, not at all. And Caroline explained this very well, and one fantastic example. It was about organic coffee, and one was organic coffee, and one was organic coffee decaffeinated. So, okay, but who buys organic coffee? People from 25 to 75. But then you think, okay, think about it again. Like decaffeinated, maybe go for retired people who are sitting down, don't have time, and they want to relax and have their coffee, and people who are drinking coffee, maybe they don't have time and drink coffee very fast. So it's she explained this very, very well in this example about how you really have to narrow down your market.
So it's not about cutting people out, it's about knowing who you're targeting, so you know how to target them. And I think you came up with about 4 or 5 or more audiences. And what then I did explain as well was, now choose one audience at a time to market to, because let's say, for instance, and we haven't spoken about Facebook ads or anything like that, that's in week 5 anyway. But just as an example, why is that important? So people, when they're filling this out, say, well, why does it matter that you have to do this? Let's say, for instance, you had 5 audiences in the end, and let's say, for instance, you had $100 a week for Facebook ads. If you tried to do Facebook ads to all of those audiences, you're going to have such a small amount of money that you can't test. And this is what people don't understand, is that they think testing, oh yeah, I'll just put out all these, you know, different options and see what comes back as the best results. But testing happens when you have a certain amount of traffic, a certain amount of money spent. You can't do it and see a result when there's only 20 people that have actually looked at that ad.
You waste more money on these Facebook ads if you don't really know what you're doing. Yeah. I did it, like I spent like 100 euros. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna test that, I'm gonna test that. It was like Facebook ad want to really go down the audience, but I did like 25 to 65 women in somewhere. And I had like maybe 7 Facebook likes and I spent 100 euros. Mm. And because useless, because my 65-year-old one and the 25-year-old one don't want the same thing. If I wouldn't have if I would have known this before, I would not already wasted 100 euros for nothing.
It's so true. And that was like Alan that was on the call with us as well. He sells t-shirts, and one thing that he's actually doing is t-shirts around sports, so basketball, football, tennis, things like that. And so he was doing an audience about fathers. And straight away and you did an audience for men as well, and I said, just cut them out. It's such a small amount. And it wasn't that I told Martina to cut it out. I asked her, how much of your audience is going to be men? And she said, well, probably not that much. I said, then forget it for now. Maybe in 3 years down the track, if you're making millions of dollars and you want to get more and more of the market, great. Then you can go after that, you know, really small amount. But concentrate on the main part of your market first. And Alan was the same. So he had men as a target market buying t-shirts, and his t-shirts are like, thanks to the best grandma or something like that. And I said, men are not getting online to buy t-shirts for the grandmas from their kids. Like, that's the mother's job normally. And I'm being totally sexist when I say that, and I know I am. But just generally speaking, that's not a huge market. But then when he said, I sell t-shirts around football and tennis and sport, I said, well, that's where your male market is. That's where you're going to be targeting on that. And another thing with Facebook ads that people don't know is that if you do a Facebook ad and it says in there an interest, and you say an interest is basketball, one interest is tennis, and one interest is soccer, and you put in those interests and then you do an ad to that, you don't know which one of those audiences is going to get the most amount of traffic. So what happens is that you see that whole thing and you say, okay, well, that's working or that's not working, but maybe inside that, maybe tennis did really well or basketball did really well and the other ones didn't. So when you're running a Facebook ad, you want to break down your interests. So with Alan, when I was doing his marketing plan, I said, so in your case, you need to break down basketball separately from tennis, separately from football, and have them separate, because they are going to be different interest groups on Facebook targeting. So there's lots of little things like that, and that's why really sitting down after they filled out the form, as much as my videos went into a lot of detail, and they did get a lot out of it.
For 1 week, a lot of material.
Yeah.
You need a little bit time.
Yeah, you do need the time, but it's, you know, it's all about also taking your business to that next level as fast as possible.
It's a priority.
Exactly.
It's a priority if you want to be a successful business. If you're really committed to your store and what you want to be, there's no way around. Like, you have to sit down and do your proper marketing plan until you get to the next step. If you want to be a proper business owner. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't.
And then people wonder why they're not getting any success. It's so true. So, you know, the 6 weeks, the first week was definitely the hardest. I could have broken it down into 2 weeks, but I knew that it was just going to drag on. And if I let it break, if I break that into 2 weeks, then it means that, you know, the second week people are going to still be going, oh, maybe I need a third week. At the end of the day, it had to get done. You did it. Yeah. At the end of the day, you did it. So it's not like it can't be done. It's not like, you know, it's unachievable. Martina's not a professional, you know, anything online. She's a hairdresser. And so she's, you know, learning all of this for the first time.
Yeah, first time. Everything, learning process. Sometimes I talk to my husband and says, you know, I learned so much today again. I can't, you know, because if you have a physical store and with physical clients, it's so much different than when you have an online store with no physical clients and not a physical store. And you have to learn about the marketing in a different way. You have to learn about how your sales are going the different way. And every day you learn so much. It's really amazing. if you like to learn.
Well, if you want to be successful, it's not even, you don't even have to like to learn, but
Yeah.
if you want to be successful with a business, then you have to just put up with it and just do it anyway. So it's not a
You have to have
choice.
patience too, though.
Yeah. That's the thing about making money, you know, there's a payoff. If you want to make money, you've got to do these things.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I think that's it. The marketing plan went really well. Next week's going to be a lot simpler. It's not going to have so none of the other weeks have homework. It was just that first week, but at least now we have that base. So now everything we do moving forward, when we get into how to structure emails, we've already done a basic sort of run through on the marketing plan. So now we know how to, you know, go through, and we'll go deep on that. I'll go deep on sales funnels. So everything sort of came off there.
Yeah.
Facebook ads, how to do your Facebook ads or Google AdWords. It's all going to come off that marketing plan. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm glad to have you on board with the actual
I'm very, very happy to sign up, and it already helped me so much for my first email sent out and how to go on with my business, because you finish and I'm like, okay, what's next?
And so next we'll do these every now and then, so you know, it's an excuse to catch up and have a champagne together. So we'll definitely do some more of these, and we'll see how Martina's business is going as she actually moves through. So it's really exciting. So thank you. If anyone wants to know about the actual program, go to ecommercebackstagepass.com. The program information's there. I'm just in the process of choosing new dates for the next program. It's going to be the first week of October that we go live again with a new course. So I do 6 weeks, but I have different dates that I started. So please go and have a look. There's a little chat box there. Send me a chat message or send me a message on Facebook if you've got questions. I'm more than happy to answer them if you're not sure about something. So thank you, Martina, for being here.
Thank you. I highly recommend. I highly, highly recommend, because any question you have, she really answers everything. Everything. And you know, there are coming a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And the answers she has, they're always logical and true, and not always easy to follow.
What was that? How do I do that?
But it's a very good end result. And that's all what matters. You know, like success doesn't come from nothing. You have to work on it.
So true, spoken by someone who had a very successful business before offline. So she knows about business, but it's a new area now online. So exciting times. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline.
Bye. Bye.